Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's Benedict here again from Jagging and Company Associates, and today I want us to move on with the creation of variables. Remember, we had done the variables for current financial year, so today I want us to do the variables for the prior periods. So I'll just take you to our Python code. So from here, I've already made the code for the prior period variables, but let me just try to comment out from February to December. So now I've commented out February variables up to December. So we'll explain January first, then we'll move to February. Then we'll also see how much has been done. So initially we had made the variables for current financial year, but now we are moving on to the variables the variables for prior periods, and then we'll start with January. So here I'm writing a variable, I've named the variable January underscore sum to mean cumulative sum, and then underscore ly. So ly here means last year. So ly means last year. So this is the variable for cumulative sum for January, and then you are saying that it is equivalent to data.log, and then .data, and then financial year now is equal to previous year input. Remember, we had variables for current financial year and the previous financial year, and we say that the previous financial year will be the current financial year minus 1. So instead of writing current financial year, which is year input minus 1, we've written here pre underscore year 1 underscore input. So when we scroll upwards here, you can see where we are done the variables for current year. Not rather the variables for the current year, but for the user input for the current year in terms of financial year, and the user input for the prior periods in terms of financial year. So now you can see here we have financial, period number of financial year. And then here we are saying that period number is equal to int in bracket input. Then we are telling the user to enter period number. And then when it comes to financial year, we are saying financial underscore year is equal to int in bracket input. Then again we are telling the user to enter financial year in review. So when again we come down here, we are saying that year input is equal to financial year. So the financial year is a global variable, so we can access it within this def function, or rather the main function. So year underscore input is equal to financial underscore year. And then when you go down here, we also have previous year 1 input is equal to year input minus 1. So when we have, like now we are in 20, let's assume that the financial year is 2018. So when we minus 1, we'll get the prior year as 2017. The same applies to when we go to the prior year 2, which here down here I've named as pre underscore year 2 underscore input is equal to year input minus 2. So when I want to get the variables for 2016, I'll just take the value for the current year, which is 2018, minus 2 to get 2016. So let's move again back to our variables for prior periods. Let me just try to enlarge it a bit. So here we've written here January cumulative sum, rather January underscore cum sum underscore ly to mean last year is equal to data.log then square bracket, then bracket data, then the financial year as a string, FY meaning financial year as a string is equal to pre underscore year one underscore input. This one means that we are choosing the prior year. In this case now, when the year is 2018, the current financial year is 2018, so the prior year will be 2017. Again, we are choosing the period as period 1, meaning it is January. Then here I'm also trying to rename the columns. So here you can see columns is equal to curly bracket value, then value, then value as a string, then hyphen, then YTD LY. So we are renaming the value, the column labeled value YTD last year, so it will be the year to date last year. Then again we are dropping the columns for financial year, quarter, month, period, TB item. Then the axis is equal to 1 because we are dealing with columns. Then again down here we are seeing that January monthly underscore ly. So here we are dealing with the monthly variable, not the cumulative sum variable. This is a monthly variable for January, is equal to so here the same formula applies, rather the same procedure that we used in January cumulative sum applies to this other variable down here. So what differs only is the variable name. So the variable name is Jan underscore monthly underscore ly, but the principle that we've used here in cumulative sum remain the same, and even the naming. So the columns here will change value to Jan underscore ly to mean January last year. So here we don't want to use YTD last year because we only want to deal with January alone. Then again we're also dropping columns for financial year, quarter, month, period, TB item, and then the axis is equal to 1 because we are dealing with columns. Then when we come down here, we also have assets, rather data underscore assets underscore ly, mean the assets for last year. So these are assets that were acquired within the period of January last year. So here again we are seeing that data underscore assets underscore ly is equal to moment. So data underscore assets 1 underscore ly. So 1 here is meaning that we are dealing with January, and then it is for January last year. Then again we are saying data underscore assets. So this is the the data frame that we had for assets, and then we are saying data underscore assets dot log square bracket, then bracket data underscore assets, then now the financial year now the financial year now is the previous year underscore year one underscore input to mean the 2017, assuming that the current year is 2018, and then the period now will be period 1, which is January, and then again we are renaming the columns. So here the column of value, or rather the column with the numerical values now has been renamed to YTD last year, and then we are dropping financial year column, quarter column, month column, period column, cost column, cumulative depreciation column, and net book value column. So let me just try to take you back to Excel, where we have the asset changes. So this is what we have. We have these columns for financial year, quarter, month. We also have the sub ledger. We also have the cost. We have also cumulative dip. We have net book value. We have value and all that. So what we are trying to do here, we are trying to rename the value to in cumulative sum, the value is YTD last year, but for January monthly, when it comes to assets as well, the value is being renamed to YTD last year, because when we deal with assets, we'll be dealing with, rather when we are working on assets, it means that we'll be working on balance sheet, and balance sheet is always cumulative in nature, so we cannot rename this column to be January, because we cannot create a monthly balance sheet, because the balance sheet is cumulative in nature. So this one will just be YTD last year as opposed to January last year. So when I take you back to where we have our code, again you're saying that loan investment LY. So here we have this variable for loan and investments. So loan underscore investments 1 underscore LY to mean last year is equal to data underscore loan underscore investment dot log, then square brackets, and again now we have the curly brackets, the data underscore loan underscore investments. Then the financial year now here is still previous year underscore year 1 underscore input, and then the period will be period 1, meaning January, but again we'll rename the column with numerical values as YTD last year, because again we are still dealing with the loan and investments. So this will only appear within the balance sheet. Then the balance sheet we are saying is always in cumulative in nature. So we'll just be dealing with the cumulative total. So that's why we are renaming the value to YTD underscore last year to mean year to date underscore last year. And then we are dropping the unnecessary columns. Then the x is equal to 1 because they are columns. So when we move on, we are moving on to opening stock. So we want to create the opening stock variables for the period of last year for January. So we are saying OS underscore Jan underscore monthly to mean January monthly is equal to Jan underscore monthly underscore ly dot jan underscore monthly underscore ly, where category is equal to opening stock. And then the same applies to cumulative sum. Category also is equal to opening stock, but now here we are using Jan cumulative sum as opposed to Jan monthly. So we'll have two variables for opening stock for both cumulative sum and a monthly opening stock. So when we move on to closing stock, we also have monthly closing stock. We also have monthly closing stock for cumulative sum. So cs underscore jan underscore monthly underscore ly to mean last year is equal to pd.data frame. So we are putting this this portion that we've taken from the data for Jan monthly last year, this one for ledger within a data frame. So that's why we are saying that pd.data frame dot jan underscore monthly underscore last year, then jan underscore monthly underscore last year, where ledger is equal to closing stock. So within that column where we have the ledger, or rather the column that has been labeled ledger within that data frame for January monthly underscore last year, we are choosing on the closing stock. So again, we are saying that cs underscore jan underscore monthly underscore ly dot log in bracket closing stock is equal to cs underscore jan underscore monthly underscore ly, and then we are saying in bracket jan underscore ly dot sum. So we are summing the values of the closing stock that we just chosen up here. Again, when we come down here, we just want to choose the total value of the closing stock that we chose up here. So here we are saying that cs underscore jan underscore monthly underscore ly is equal to pd.data frame in bracket cs underscore jan underscore monthly underscore ly dot replace. So we are replacing the not a number values, or rather the null values, with closing stock, and then we are only choosing the last row of that closing stock that we've chosen. So after summing the values of the closing stock, we are only choosing the last row which has the total. Then again, we are trying to re-index that data frame, and then we'll also drop the index that is unnecessary. So let me just try to print this cs jan monthly is for January last year. So we'll go to 2017. So let's just go to Excel. When we come here to YTD, year to date, we only want to see 2017. The closing stock for January 2017. So I will come here and choose January. So here we'll choose January. Then let's see the closing stock for January. But let me just try to filter out the closing stock. So I will just closing stock. So this is what we have. So when we check here, rather when we check on our code, we need to see these values. We have them here. So here we can see we have AAB. So they've been arranged. AA underscore B is equal to 248,408. And then AA underscore D is equal to 2905. Then we have 12996, which is here. Then we also have 289,456. The 289,458 there. Then we have 136,683, which is this one here. And then lastly we have 148,681, which is this one here. So we've correctly read the trial balance, rather the trial balance, and then we've correctly extracted the January closing stock for the year 2017, which is the prior period to the year 2018. So let me just remove this, as I want to cut it out. Then I'll put it down here, and we also want to see what we have here as CS monthly, CS Jan monthly, after totaling the values down here and then getting the last row of the total value and then resetting the index. So when I run this code, it's a bit slow, but just bear with me a little bit. So the period number here will be period 1, and then the financial year will be 2018. It's the year under review. So our last, or rather the last row, when we add, we should be getting 957, 131 is the total value for the closing stock for January for the year 2018. So when I come here, we should get the same figure. So when you add here, you can see down here we have 957, 132. So moving down here again, we've rather now we have closing stock for cumulative sum, and then the closing stock for cumulative sum should be the same as the closing stock for January, because we are dealing with the same period. So January cumulative sum will be the same as January monthly. So here we expect the same figures that we had for January monthly be the same figures for January cumulative sum. So let me just add this one, Jan. cumulative sum monthly. It should be last year. This should be CS underscore Jan and underscore cumulative sum. So let me also try to print this. There's an error here, but let's see where the error is. The error has gone. So let me try to print this as well. Cumulative sum. So again, the financial year in review is 2018, and then the period is a period 1, but for 2017. So it is the same figure that we had for January monthly, because we are still dealing with the same month, January, which is cumulative sum, and it's also monthly. So after January, now let's move on to February. So with February, things will be a bit different. Let me try to comment out March. So now when we come to February, the same principle applies, but now the period will be period 2, meaning February. And then how? So now here we are saying that, let me just try to bring this one down. So here we are saying that the variable for Feb cumulative sum, which is this one here, is equal to data.log, square brackets, then parentheses, then data financial year is equal to year input minus 1. So remember pre-year underscore 1, which is up here. A moment. So the one that I've just used down here as pre-year underscore year 1, and then underscore inputs is the same as year input underscore, rather year underscore input minus 1. So when we're saying that this year is 2018, and then when we subtract 1, we'll get 2017. The same applies to when we use the pre-year, or rather the pre-underscore year 1 underscore input. So here we are saying again that Feb cumulative sum underscore last year is equal to data.log in bracket data, then the financial year will be year underscore input minus 1, and then the period is period 2 to mean February, and then we are dropping these columns for financial year, quarter, month, period, TBI term, and then the axis is equal to 1. So the axis is equal to 1 because we are dealing with the columns, so we use axis is equal to 1. So when we go to assets again, so asset we had said that assets are cumulative in nature. So the same principle that we used in January is the same, but now the data underscore assets to underscore ly means that the variable is for February, and then the period here we are using period 2 to mean it is February. And then I've also said that pre underscore year 1 underscore input is the same as year underscore input underscore rather year underscore input minus 1. So these two variables here are the same. Their values are the same. Rather, the values of these two variables are the same. So when I write year underscore input minus 1, it's also same as pre underscore year 1 underscore input. Again, we are renaming the value of the numerical column labeled value as YTD last year, because we are dealing with assets. So assets, the variable for assets will be used in balance sheet, and balance sheet is always cumulative in nature. So that's why we are using YTD underscore last year. To underscore last year is equal to data underscore loan investments dot log, and again square bracket, then bracket data underscore loan underscore investments, then the financial year will be pre underscore year 1 underscore input, and the period will be period 2. Then again we are trying to rename the columns. So the numerical column labeled value will be changed to YTD underscore last year. Remember, this one is loan variable, which is a balance sheet item, so it is cumulative in nature, so I'm using YTD underscore last year. Then again, we are also dropping the unnecessary columns, and then the axis is equal to 1. So when we move to January, or rather February monthly, we have February underscore monthly underscore last year. Then here we are saying pd.concat, so we are concatenating two variables. The two variables here are January cumulative sum and February cumulative sum. So after concatenating these two variables, then we'll come up with the monthly figures for rather the monthly data frame for February. So here we are saying pd.concat, and rather in bracket Jan cumulative sum underscore ly. Then we are concatenating Jan cumulative sum with Feb cumulative sum. Then because we are concatenating them horizontally, we are saying that ignore index is equal to true, then sort is equal to false. Then again down here we are saying that Feb underscore monthly underscore last year is equal to Feb underscore monthly underscore last year dot group by. So you want to group by category, then you want to group by ledger, then also by sub ledger, and then we are summing the category ledger and sub ledger. We want to group them together, so we are summing them up. Then again we are resetting the index. Then Feb underscore monthly underscore Feb underscore monthly 1 underscore ly is equal to Feb underscore monthly 1 underscore ly in bracket value minus Feb underscore monthly underscore ly YTD last year. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to get the monthly values of February. So the cumulative sums for January, I will subtract from the cumulative sums of February. Remember, this Feb monthly underscore last year in bracket value is just the cumulative sum for February. rather it's the cumulative sum for January, so we want to subtract it from the cumulative sum of February, then we'll get the monthly figures for February. So down here we are saying that Feb underscore monthly underscore last year bracket Feb underscore last year is equal to Feb underscore monthly underscore last year. So the variable here that we've just gotten up here is what now we are saying, or rather we are trying to rename the numerical column to Feb last year. Rather we are not renaming, but we've just gotten the value for Feb last year, so we are calling the that column for numerical values for February monthly as Feb underscore ly. That's where we are trying to equate this variable to Feb underscore 1, rather Feb underscore monthly 1 underscore ly. So before then, let me just try to print. Let me start by printing Feb underscore monthly underscore last year. So print Feb underscore monthly a bit slow. So the period again, now we are dealing with February, so this is period 2, but remember we are dealing with the prior period, so this one will be 2018, but the results that we'll be getting will be for 2017. So this is what we have for February 2017 after concatenating the two variables for the values. After concatenating these two variables, Jan underscore cumulative sum last year with Feb underscore cumulative sum underscore last year. So this is what we have. So again, when I come down here, you need to see what we'll have after grouping at the category ledger and subledger and summing, and then also reindexing. So when I come down here, you'll see what we have as Feb monthly last year. So the period is period 2, and the year in review is 2018. So now this is what we have after grouping all the data into category ledger and subledger. So here we have value, and we also have YTD last year. So the value here is this one is the value, this column named value is the values for February cumulative sum, and YTD last year is the value for January last year. So down here we see we want to see after subtracting the values for February, after subtracting the values of January from the values of February, what do we get? So you see here I've written here Feb underscore monthly underscore ly in bracket value minus Feb monthly underscore ly YTD last year. So YTD last year is the value for cumulative sum January, and value here is the column with the values for February cumulative sum. So we'll come down here and print again February monthly. So I'm just trying to show the steps that we are following before we come up with the financial data frame for February monthly and February cumulative sum last year. So the period is still period 2, and then the year in review is 2018. So the values we are getting here are the values for monthly, but now here we have this is now this is the values for February cumulative sum, and this one is also the value for January cumulative sum, but we wanted to print the Feb monthly Feb underscore monthly then 1. So let's print this. So we are still in period 2. Then the year in review is 2018. So this is what we have for the values for February. That's the values for February monthly. So when I come down here again, now let's print February monthly again. So I'll come down here and print February monthly. Remember, we are still on period 2. The year in review is 2018. So now you can see the numerical figures. We have YTDLY value and February underscore LY. So this value is what you want to use at monthly figures. This one is for cumulative sum for February, and this one is for cumulative sum for January. So when you subtract this YTD last year from value, you get the value for February last year. So let me come down here. So down here you can see we have we've dropped the column for value and the column for YTD last year, because we only want to remain with the February monthly figures. So when I come down here and print February monthly again, you'll see now we only have one numerical column named YTD February underscore last year. So here the period still is period 2. Then the year in review is 2018. So now we only have one column with numerical values of monthly, or rather for February monthly. So again, the February cumulative sum last year, we've now renamed it to YTD last year, because we want the monthly figures and we also want the cumulative sum for the periods in review. So that was for cumulative sum monthly and February monthly. So let me just try to again to restore order it was initially. I will delete the spaces. So down here again, you're also working with the closing stock. Rather, we also need to do the variables for closing stock for February. So here I'm saying that opening stock underscore February underscore monthly underscore LY is equal to closing stock for January underscore monthly underscore last year. So when we have the opening stock, rather when we have the closing stock for January, it means it will be the opening stock for February. And the same applies when we have the closing stock for February, it will be the opening stock for March. This is what we mean here as OS underscore Feb underscore monthly underscore LY is equal to closing stock underscore January underscore monthly underscore yeah. Then OS underscore Feb, this one here underscore LY is equal to OS underscore Feb underscore monthly underscore LY dot rename. So we want to rename the this column with the Jan underscore LY to Feb underscore LY. So then we have OS underscore Feb underscore cumulative sum underscore LY is equal to OS underscore Jan underscore cumulative sum underscore LY, and then you are saying that this variable will be the same for all months. So we are saying that the opening stock for February for cumulative sum will be equal to the opening stock for January for cumulative sum. So the value here will be same for all months for rather from January to December, where we have the variables for cumulative sum. So where we will be having any variable with the cumulative sum which needs opening stock, will have the values for opening stock for January cumulative sum. So again, we also have February closing stock, but before then let me just try to print February opening stock, or rather February monthly opening stock. So print OS underscore Feb underscore Feb underscore monthly. Any other period will be printed period 2 because we are dealing with February. Then the year in review is 2018, but the printout is for February last year, meaning February 2017. So that was monthly. So let me again try to print Feb underscore cumulative sum last year. So come sum period 2, and the year in review is 2018. Now you see the opening stock will be 807,131, which is the opening stock for January figures. So that's why we are saying that all the opening stock for all this period will be the same as the opening stock for January, but the closing stock, monthly closing stock and opening stock will be different from period to period. So the opening stock of February will be the monthly opening stock for February is the closing stock for January. Monthly opening stock for March, the closing stock for February. So let's move on to closing stock. So again, down here we are saying that Let me comment this out. We are saying that CS underscore Feb underscore monthly underscore ly is equal to Feb cumulative sum underscore last year, then in bracket Feb cumulative sum underscore last year, where ledger is equal to closing stock. So we want to pick the values of closing stock on that column where ledger is. Rather, when we have the closing stock monthly for March, so that monthly closing stock will be the same as cumulative closing stock for the month of March. That's where we are renaming here YTD last year. I mean year to date last year for the month of February is equal to Feb underscore ly, Feb last year. Then CS underscore Feb underscore monthly underscore ly dot log in bracket, in square bracket, closing stock is equal to CS underscore Feb underscore monthly underscore ly in bracket, rather in double square brackets, Feb underscore ly dot sum. So we want to sum up the values of the closing stock. Then again we are saying that CS underscore Feb underscore monthly underscore ly is equal to PD dot data frame. So we are putting the portion that we've selected from the data that we've selected, we want to put it in under data frame. So we are saying PD dot data frame in bracket CS underscore Feb underscore monthly underscore ly dot replace. We want to replace with the none. We want to replace the null numbers, or rather not a number values with the with closing stock. So before then, let me just try to print CS underscore Feb monthly. Let's print it. Let's print this and see what we have. So the period is still period 2. and the year in review is 2018. So this is what we have after printing CS underscore Feb underscore monthly underscore LY. So the closing stock down here, this is the total value for the closing stock, but we want to replace this not a number of the null values with closing stock. So that's what we've done down here. Replace np.null with closing stock. Then .tail in bracket 1, it means that you want to pick the last row of this data frame. So the last row here will be tail underscore 1. Then again, we also want to reset index. So before I reset index, let me just put this one down here. But instead of putting it down here, to reset index, just to rename this index from 0, 1, 2, 3 up to the last number. But when we reset index, this column here, apparently the index column will move on the right. So we'll have the index column, and we'll also have another index here. That's why we are dropping the index. So let me just try to show you what happens. I will bring this one down. I will say here yes, underscore Feb underscore monthly underscore LY is equal to yes let's call this one not reset index, drop index. So let me also bring this on this side. So here we'll just have bracket complete coding. So this should be Feb, not Jan. We'll do away with the errors. Now let's print the variable and see what we have. You see the kind of data frame that we have. So here is period 2, and then the period in the year in review is 2018. Now you can see we have the index column. We also have another column called index. And then you have category, ledger, subledger, and numerical columns. So down here is where we've dropped this index. So when I come down here, and then I cut this printout again, and then I print it down here, you'll see what we have now. So we want to do away with this index column. That's why we are saying CS5 underscore monthly underscore ly dot drop in bracket index x is equal to 1. So the period still is period 2, and then the year in review is 2018. So now we don't have that index column because it has been dropped. So that was the procedure of coming up with this last level of the data frame. Let me just bring all this back. Rather, let me just try to undo the code. So this is what we have this is what we had initially. So down here also we have cumulative sum cs underscore feb underscore sum underscore ly to mean the closing stock for February, cumulative sum for last year. So this is the same principle that we applied for monthly closing stock, but now this one is cumulative sum. So with cumulative sum, you are saying that the closing stock for February in cumulative sum will not be the same as closing stock for January, but the monthly closing stock for February will be equal to the monthly closing stock for February cumulative sum. So that's where we are saying that cs underscore feb underscore sum ly is equal to pd.data frame, then feb underscore cumulative sum feb underscore cumulative sum underscore ly, then feb underscore cumulative sum underscore ly in bracket ledger is equal to closing stock. Then down here we are saying that we want to that column as YTD last year for the numeric values. So we have we don't want to put is at YTD last year, but we want to sum the values. So down here we have cs underscore feb underscore cumulative sum underscore ly dot log in square bracket closing stock is equal to cs underscore feb underscore cumulative sum underscore ly in double square brackets YTD last year dot sum. So we want to get the values of the closing stock. Then down here we are replacing the null values with closing stock, and then we are getting the last row of that data frame, and then we are resetting index and then dropping index as well. So what we had done up here for monthly figures is the same principle that we are applying down here for cumulative sum. So we've explained how we've done, rather how we've come up with the variables for January and February. So the same principle applies to variables for March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. So the variables are down here and the coding also is down here. So what I will do, I'll just uncomment these variables for let me just try to use the escape characters. So here I will use let me just try to print cs underscore number monthly. Yeah. So remember the period is period 12, but the year in review is 2018, but the printout will be for prior periods. So we'll be printing for the year 2017. So the period 12, financial year in review is 2018. So here we have both closing stock, or rather opening stock is up here, and then the closing stock is down here. So in the first one, you can see it's written a closing stock as opposed to opening stock, because we are picking the value, we are picking the opening stock, or the closing stock for November. We are printing December, but the opening stock for December is the closing stock for November. That's why we are seeing in this row we have closing stock, closing stock, closing stock, as opposed to opening stock. But still, we can also change this row. The closing stock can also be renamed to opening stock. So that's all about the prior year period variables. So we have the variables from January, December, And then after this one, we'll also do the variables for the budget. Remember we had the YTD. We had YTD, and YTD we have the current year and the prior years, and then we had also the budget. So we'll also do the variables for the budget, and the same principle that we've used in doing the variables for the current year and the prior year will be the same. So let's stop at these variables for prior year. So when we come back, we'll do the variables for the budget, and then we'll move on to how to do, but we'll still move on with the variables of which we'll be looking at where when we choose one period, the financial year will just be, rather the financial reports will just be for that particular period. So we'll still do more variables, but when we come back, we'll be doing the variables for the budget. So let's stop at that, and thanks a lot for watching. And for those of you who have not subscribed, please do subscribe. And if you have subscribed, please share my video and invite friends so that we can learn how to automate financials with Python together, step by step. So thanks a lot for watching, and let's meet on the next video.